Welcome back, everyone. If you watched the video before this about why native plants are important, you may be wondering, well, what does that have to do with me? Aren't they doing what they need to? What's the purpose? Well, according to the Center for Biological Diversity, urban sprawl has consumed enough U.S. wildland acreage to comprise a small state, leaving us with less than 5% of our ancient forests and less than half of our native wetlands intact. Thanks to poor land management, introduced species, roads, excessive logging, and other threats, we've lost more than 100 million acres of irreplaceable habitat. So now you may be wondering, well, what am I supposed to do with that information? I mean, these problems seem way too big for me to even think about. Well, I'm here to tell you that no problem is too big for you to solve, and I'm going to be sharing with you a few ways of how you can make a sustainable lifestyle changes, and some that are a little bit more bigger on the larger scale. So I'll first start with easy things that you can do and kind of move up from there. And you really can make a long-lasting impact and change no matter how small it is, trust me. So our first thing is being an advocate, and this can be done in so many different ways. This can be in the forms of teaching others, so let's say informing yourself on the topic or any topic at hand and just talking to others verbally. You can do this through writing, writing about a certain issue, sharing that with others if that's a creative way for you to share your thoughts. Or you can also do this in an art form, maybe create a painting or abstract art or literally any type of art that can get through to people in a meaningful way or in a meaningful way for you. You can also do this through social media if you are young, or you don't even have to be young, but if you like to use social media a lot, that is a great way to get your voice out there. I know for myself, when I see educational posts or something that people put on their stories, it's really interesting to go and click on them, and I think it's a very effective way for the younger generation to be informed on topics. And you can even create your own social media posts and share that out and encourage other people to share it, and before you know, it's reached a bunch of people. You can also speak out if you would like to. It's similar to teaching others, but verbally you may want to go to rallies, or as we've seen for other social justice movements that have been going on recently, you can go to protests. Of course, during COVID, please do it safely, but there are tons of different ways to do this, and that is one of my favorite things to do. You could even do videos like I am. I know this is a little bit more intense, but if that's what you like, do it. You can also cycle. So this one seems simple enough, but actually people don't do it often enough. And I know that not everything that goes into recycling ends up being recycled, but it is still a great way to kind of take control of what you can in your own space to create more of a sustainable impact. So this is also a win-win type of situation, because you can actually collect bottles and then return those in for money. So especially if you're young, maybe you're not old enough to have a job yet or something, that I would do this all the time, where I would collect all of our cans and plastic bottles from not only my family but from others, my neighbors, friends, and then once I've collected enough, you can turn those in and actually make a pretty good amount of money. You can also buy a water bottle. This is actually a very quick and cheap thing that you can do to save a lot of time and efforts. I know I just talked about recycling and how great that is, but if you can reduce the amount of how much you would even have to recycle, that's even better. So plastic water bottles don't run too high in price usually, so of course you can go for a more intense version like stainless steel, but even a plastic water bottle will do, and it just allows you to not use as much plastic as you would typically, and you can actually get discounts in certain places for using reusable cups. So for example, I do not think they're doing this currently because of COVID, but at Starbucks before COVID, if you bought one of their reusable little travel mugs or cups, then you would get a discount on your drink. So little things like that can make a big difference, not only for your bank account but also for the environment. Now we're going to talk about water. Water is not an infinite thing that we have. It can seem like that, especially when it comes out of our faucets really quickly and just on the, whenever we need it. But we do not have an infinite supply, so it's important to conserve that now. And a great way that you can conserve is taking shorter showers. I know, we all love our long hot showers, especially on a rough day, but trying to limit those as much as possible is the best thing that you can do, and not having them on super hot heat, because not only does that require a lot more electricity to heat up that water, you're waiting for that water to heat up, which causes more time, and it's not very good for your skin or your hair or really anything. I mean, I know it feels good in the moment, but trying to restrain from that is the best thing possible. So trying to stick to maybe no longer than 8-minute showers. And also, a great thing that you can do if you shave is to turn the water off when you're shaving and just shave, and then turn it back on when you need to rinse your razor or when you need to finish your shower. But you can actually use a lot of water just by standing there and shaving. Going back to electricity, you can also unplug. I know it sounds crazy, especially in a time where we need to use a lot of technology, but taking a break not only is great for your mental health, it's also great for our environment. So there are some things that are called energy vampires that even when they're not being used, when they're plugged into an outlet source, they use electricity. So a great example would be your phone charger. So unplugging that from the outlets when you can will actually save not only money for your electricity bill, it'll also help save electricity, because you do need water to produce electricity, and like I've said, we do not have an infinite supply of water, so it's important to conserve that. And of course, taking a break from the screen when possible, just to kind of conserve your battery life, and not leaving things plugged in for a super long time when they don't need to be plugged in. So another example of this would be leaving your computer charged all the time, even when it's at full battery. There's really no need for that, and it just causes us to it just sucks a lot of electricity that really is not needed at all. And another simple and beneficial thing that you can do is to go outside. And I know that sounds crazy, and you're not necessarily doing any sort of specific action, but going outside definitely does make you appreciate nature more. And it is a lot easier to talk about a topic when you are more passionate about it, and that also kind of helps you create more of a personal connection with our outside world. And it's super great for your mental health too, and we do need it to live healthy and happy lives. Those are all the quick and easy things that I have for you to do in order to live a more sustainable lifestyle. And I'm going to put the more bigger issues and go into depth a little bit more on some other portions and other topics and things that you can do in a second video, to do a part 2, just so this video isn't too long and just so it makes a little bit more sense. So thank you for listening. I hope you implement some of these things into your life, and have a great day.